Can you hear it, Richard? I can't hear you mute. I'm going to play my tune again. Because I'm not sure it's recovered. We're going to start all over again for you, Rick. It's all good. Can you hear me?
No. I can hear you, but I can't hear the music.
That's crazy.
My volume's up.
That's weird.
No, I can't hear it, mate.
They just don't hear me now, known and grown. When the clock in my zone is no sneaking and
I can hear it now.
My calling card, recorded and ordered. Supporter of Chesimard, loud and proud, kicking live. Next poet supreme, loop but true, bazooka, the scheme. Flavor, a rebel in his own mind.
Public enemy.
Designed to scatter a line of suckers who claim I do crime. They on my time ticket.
Hey yo, Chuck, I think we taking shots. Yo, this is Cole Medina, man. Come on, kick it.
Terminator X.
Terminator X.
Terminator X. Terminator X. Terminated.
Yo, Chuck, you getting them nervous. They can't handle this. They're gonna break down.
From a rebel, it's final. A black final soul. Rock and roll coming like a rhino. Tables turn, suckers burn to learn.
Okay. So you could hear it now because I was sharing it. Okay, cool. That's
Yeah,
all right. We're still working out some technicals. That's cool. But you can see this. We're going to talk about what happens over here, what happens over there in celebrity community world, and what sparks me off. So I'm going to talk about I'm BLAPPS, Better Living and Positive Propaganda System. My real name is Victor Evelyn, and BLAPPS is my nickname. It's my philosophy. I teach it. And TARK is talking about real knowledge. So I've got 4 subjects I want to get out to you, and you can talk about them, reply, retort, whatever you feel like you want to do after I've talked about them. So the first one I'm going to talk about is over here, and it's about the NHS. Is the NHS in recovery or is it in demise after COVID? So we want to know what are the failings of the NHS and what's it good at, and what can we do to strengthen it, or what can we do to save it? Now, I've got a report here that I tried to put up before, and we found out why. Help us, Richard. Okay, cool. Here we go. This should work this time. Can you see that? Can you see it? Yeah. Can you see it?
To see a doctor face to face.
He did.
Can you hear it?
He
Can you
was
see
very
it?
concerned about his neck lump.
Not always being able to see a GP face to face is an all too common frustration at the moment. But in the case of musician and law student David Nash, his family believe it cost him his life.
Are you worried about it still?
I'm so worried.
David didn't have cancer. He had an ear infection. He was otherwise a fit and healthy 26-year-old.
I'd say I've just been eating a little less, just because I'm scared.
David's symptoms got progressively worse. Despite 3 more telephone consultations with his GP surgery, 3 weeks later, he'd be dead.
He was 6'7", and when he walked in the room, he made an entrance. He's one of the funniest people I know.
Not only was he very humorous and a very funny son and brother and a good son, He believed in equality for all. He totally trusted the NHS. Yeah, he was just a really good guy.
Over the course of 20 days in October and November of 2020, David would have 4 telephone consultations with 4 different clinicians at his GP practice. Newsnight has obtained audio recordings of each of those consultations. David's parents, Anne and Andrew, have given us permission to broadcast excerpts in the hope that doing so will help prevent this sort of tragedy happening to another family.
There's another one that I think could be, I'm not sure.
Okay, now in terms of...
David first rang for an appointment and sent in a photo on the 14th of October 2020 when he discovered lumps on his neck. Unable to determine the cause, the doctor ordered a blood test for 19 days later. But by the 22nd of October, David has pain in his ear on the same side as the neck lumps. He has a second phone consultation with the practice nurse the following day.
It's quite painful, like on the outer ear, kind of near the jaw area as well. Feels quite blocked.
Over the phone, the nurse practitioner gets David to examine himself.
Behind our ear on
the video stopped.
The GP suspects he has a urinary tract infection, despite David showing none of the other usual symptoms.
I mean, there is a possibility this is a urine infection, although you don't seem to have any other signs of a urine infection.
Each clinician David spoke to, it was as though it was the
first consultation.
It was treated as a standalone
separate
consultation, and very little
And
regard was given to the fact that this was, you know, the 4th time, and that only days earlier he was passing blood.
By the 4th phone consultation, which happened 19 days after David first called the practice, the untreated infection in his middle ear has now spread to his brain. He's in extreme pain, he can't eat, he's disorientated, and as we can hear from the recording of his final consultation with a nurse practitioner, he is slurring his words. Still, he's not seen in person.
I've got pain behind both eyes, my sinuses, my back of my neck, and I've got temperature as well.
Sorry, the line's not very good. I'm struggling to hear. Sinuses?
Sinuses in the back of the neck, so like the cheek area and the back of the neck.
Back of your neck? You don't have sinuses in the back of your neck usually?
No, the pain is in the...
Oh, the pain. I see what you mean. Right, okay.
Despite this being David's 4th consultation, he was still not offered a face-to-face appointment or even a video call. The nurse seems unaware of everything that David has told clinicians at the practice over the past 19 days.
Do you think you've done anything? So you've not been in a bit of a bump in a car, or you've not been doing lots and lots of computer work, or any exercises that might have wrenched your neck or anything?
No, I'm not done anything for about a week.
No, nothing like that.
I've nothing memorable beforehand.
Yeah, okay. You sounding like you're feeling a bit sorry for yourself. Are you feeling a bit rotten?
I'm just not sleeping with it, and I'm not. Yeah, I'm just not myself with it.
Yeah, not sleeping very well. Are you eating?
Yesterday I didn't eat too much. Yet again, it just hurts to get up and do stuff with it.
There was still a chance that someone at the practice would see just how ill David has become. In a little over an hour's time from this call taking place, he has a blood test booked, the one organised nearly 3 weeks previously.
I think you've got an appointment for the surgery, haven't you?
Yeah, some blood.
Yeah, and I know you've had a negative COVID test, but with you having a temperature, I think you should rearrange that, to be honest, because there are some times when a negative test can actually be positive and it's just not picked it up.
David is clearly anxious that delaying the blood test will further delay finding out what's wrong with him.
That blood test is like I've already waited 2.5 weeks for it, and it's like it's something that's playing on my mind a lot, and then I have to wait another 2.5 weeks for it.
Newsnight understands that NHS England, which investigated David's care, has concluded that, while he could have been seen face-to-face at any point, there was a clinical rationale for not seeing him until the 4th call. They judged that that call was not satisfactory and a face-to-face consultation should have been organised.
All right, David.
All right. Bye.
All right, love. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
2.5 hours after that call, David took a selfie of himself.
To a friend, to send to a friend, didn't he?
Which is the last picture. I have no formal medical training other than first aid, but if I was to identify a picture of someone who was dying.
A few hours after the call, David was taken to hospital in an ambulance but died 2 days later. His GP practice extended their condolences to David's family but said they wouldn't comment until after the inquest into his death concludes.
I think that it's been appalling care. I think they've completely let David down at every single point. And I am absolutely convinced as David's mum that if he'd been seen on that last consultation, he would still be with us today.
David's case is, of course, an extreme example of what can go wrong. And studies suggest that many patients welcome remote consultations, which can speed up and streamline routine appointments, allowing doctors to see far more patients. But other patients are clearly unhappy, as NHS England reported last year. A rising number of concerns and complaints, typically about appointment availability, waiting times, and in particular, the ability to see a GP and specifically face-to-face. They said practices should respect preferences for face-to-face care unless there is a good clinical reason to the contrary.
Face-to-face consultations are important, but a lot of the problems that come to us can be managed as well and more conveniently for patients remotely. The challenge has been making that decision. When is a face-to-face appointment required and when is a remote consultation okay? And that's something which was in some ways forced on us at some pace as a consequence of the pandemic. And I think it's fair to say that not all GPs got it right.
And without more remote consultation, GPs say they have no chance of keeping up with demand and preventing more overworked GPs leaving the profession. An unpublished report by the Royal College and seen by Newsnight makes for stark reading. Over the next 5 years, it suggests 42% of GPs in England are likely or very likely to leave the profession. 36% in Scotland, 33% in Wales, and 29% in Northern Ireland. Some 43% of GPs stated burnout or work-related stress as their reason for leaving, and 23% of GPs across the UK were so stressed that they felt they couldn't cope most days or every day. The report points to a shortfall of 4,200 fully qualified permanent full-time equivalent GPs as of 2021-22. and says this could rise to 8,800 by 2030-31 if the current policy approach and general trends stay the same.
There has to come a stage where doctors decide, I can't do my job anymore, and then what we're seeing now will spiral out of control. I would use the word crisis. I think so many parts of the NHS are under such enormous pressure, unable to provide the personal care that patients need, sometimes unable to provide effective care, and increasingly unable to even provide safe care.
So many people contact them for advice.
And that's certainly a view you get talking to doctors on the front line. At this busy practice in Cheshire, they're clearly feeling the strain.
So it's like, you know, you're flying this massive jumbo jet and you're trying to fix it whilst it's actually up in the air. It's an impossible task.
All you seem to be doing is just like, you know, managing things just so there's no crisis happening today.
Someone asked me for a routine referral, and I responded that it would probably be for that specialty over 12 months, by which time their condition would either be better or they could be dead.
15, 20 years ago, the people in charge didn't look further down the road and say, hey, we'll need more doctors, hey, we'll need more nurses. I think keeping the NHS in a way that we recognise, it just looks harder and harder.
So we had 241 requests for appointments. On a bad day, perhaps 240, 250. The problem is that on that day we might only have, in terms of GP appointments, which is what everyone asks for, we might only have 20. And yes, there is frustration because the services that we would like to refer to aren't available for us to refer to. Right, I'm going to call this lady.
Okay. All righty then. Can everyone see that and hear it? Hello? Anyone? Did you hear it and see it? All right, Richard. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Muted, bro. All right. Can you hear it?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent. Did you hear the video?
Yep.
Did you see the video?
I see the video.
Awesome. Okay. Well, a lot of technical problems there, but yeah, we get through one day. In terms of the NHS, how do you feel about it yourself?
Boy, you can see that the staff are working hard, but like the guy said, the plane is flying and we're trying to fix it while it's in the air. You know, and I think
Sounds
under
like
the
a correct to me.
Conservative government, I don't know, it's never been any good.
So, as you mentioned in the Conservative government, what do you think Keir Starmer's going to do when he's in? Because he is going to be in next. They're not going to go and have a Conservative government, are they? So he's going to have to fix all this. And he's already backing up from his initial, I'm going to spend 22 billion on the NHS when I get in. He's already backing up on it.
Yeah, he's backing away from it, or
he's already backing away from it. Yeah, like it may not be able to be done. I might have to concentrate on new things. Maybe he's thinking about the war. That's
yeah,
what
maybe
Rishi
he is,
Sunak
but
wants to stay in the war so he can stay in power. Don't he? So if he calls the general election, Keir Starmer will come in and have to deal with the war and deal with,
yeah, well,
the
that's it.
NHS and the travel and all the rest of the stuff that these Tories have been doing for the last 13 years.
Yeah, they're messing about because this NHS is suffering now.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to get an appointment. I mean, I'm just getting over sciatica. I'm still waiting for my physiotherapy from the hospital. You know, and now
Have they given you an appointment?
I'm getting better now, but still no physio.
Nothing to do with them getting better. You've had to do your own therapy.
Yeah, do my own thing. YouTube, yoga, stretching, push-ups, you know, doing sit-ups to get the spine moving, you know.
Mm-hmm. Chiropractor maybe.
Taking long walks as well.
Right. So the long walks, I mean, could exacerbate, but not doing anything can exacerbate it. So it's a tough one when it comes to spinal injury, inflammation in your spine and stuff like that. Yeah, you have to work.
I had to go back to, you know, because I had like 6 months off.
Is that bad?
So some of it staying at home wasn't really good. You had to get up and do things, otherwise you just stay the same, and lying on the bed, back still the same. You know, but I'm back to work now doing my thing, and hopefully everything's all right. I just want to get into hard training now.
I like that word hope. I don't like that word hope. You know me. I don't like that word hope. I like.
You don't like hope.
No, I want action. Do it or don't do it. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah, I
do
think
it.
it's a little bit early. I might end up back. I
Tickle
might
my
end up back on my bed, mate.
With sciatica, it's difficult because you have to stretch. You have to,
Yeah.
you know, deal with the muscles that's binding the nerve. So I don't get into that, but you know, it's a long process. It's not just overnight with sciatica. It's a
They
long
say
term
it
thing.
takes 6 weeks to heal, but
No, it takes
took about 6 months, mate.
Yeah, it takes longer than 6 weeks. It's a muscle thing which can be a problem to do with the other side of your body. That is, you know, because you're compensating, and so it
Yeah.
causes your spine to get out of alignment, and so it stays out of alignment until you sort out the problem on that side that you're compensating for.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, you know,
Yeah, so the
I've done a lot of
NHS.
injuries like that. I've dealt with a lot of injuries like that and fixed them, but just from understanding how to align the spine again.
It's a big
But
thing.
yeah, the NHS trying to get an appointment to see them for something that isn't life-threatening is wow. You might as well just get it done yourself, sort out something yourself. And
Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to get us to do, is to, you know, think about the private system more, go and pay for it, and then eventually we can just close it down slowly and let it go by. Everyone gets used to using insurance instead to pay for immediate treatment from a private practice. It's a difficult one, and I think we're because of COVID, we had all this uprising of new methods and new ideas and putting, you know, new laws to deal with people that have signs of the virus, and so they have to be sectioned off and they can't be seen by anyone else until, you know, that these people come to deal with them. So no matter if the family wants to bring them home, they're still got to stay in, you know, off limits to anyone, can't be touched, can't be seen, can't have any information said about them. And so we get frustrated, obviously. And then we see the ambulances are stretched as well, the ambulance service, because people are calling out for everything. Then they're bringing them to the hospital, and because there's such a backup at the hospital, the ambulance can't go anywhere else. It has to wait, sometimes 11 hours. The person is still in the ambulance getting treatment after they've been picked up, which was an 11-hour wait. So it's like crazy times you get heard. It's better. This was about a year ago, these findings. So I'm going by the statistics of the longest someone's had to wait in an ambulance is 32 hours. You know?
That's crazy.
I find that incredible. And, you know, they're trying to get it back to the norm, which is 15 minutes response time. But again, it's all the restrictions that they have to go by. They'll soon fall away. And so they're seeing better response times now. And it's still hours, though. It's still hours. I had gallbladder problem in 2016. 2016, that's right. And the biggest pain I've had to take some pain in my life, but wow, I was just like, can't stand, can't sit, can't lie down, can't walk, can't stop walking, have to move, you know, but can't move. It's too much pain. It was ridiculous pain. It's just unreasonable pain, basically. Never felt anything like it in my life. Gallbladder was about to explode, apparently. And I called 999, obviously, and they said you're better off calling 111 and go and see if they can help you, because there's about 12 hours to wait for, you know what I mean? It has to be something proper, like a broken leg or something like that, come and get you. And I was like, what? And he said, yeah, you're better chance to, oh no, 111 said after that, it'd be better chance that you got a relative to pick you up and take you there. I was like, what is this? I can't even move. So with the last piece of effort, I opened the door, left my door off the latch, and went back to bed. And so my daughter was on her way to pick me up. She took about half an hour to get there. She was busy. And took me to the hospital, where I had to wait 4 hours. Right? In that first hour and a half, I was on the bench just moaning, groaning. I could hear people say, oh, he's probably got wind. Oh, he's probably this, that, and the other. They weren't doing anything. Then eventually they came out and said, oh, if he can't come in, we have to get him a wheelchair. He has to go and see the doctor first. So the doctor is in another part of the hospital. So I had to walk over again. Took me half an hour to walk 50 meters, kind of thing. Really long time. And I went to the doctor and they said, oh, no, you have to go back to the emergency. I was like, I ain't getting back there. And they said I would give you a wheelchair. But because my daughter is small and the nurse was small, I'm big. So they find it hard just to push me in the wheelchair. And I got to the wheelchair and it's about 2.5 hours later, they saw me and I must have passed out twice. I must have at least passed out twice. When they got me, oh, it's a big, it's gallbladder, this is appendix, it could be this, and it. They took me up in the ward and for 5 days, I didn't sleep. I didn't go to the toilet. I didn't eat. Barely drank it. The only thing I drank was the medicine, basically. Or morphine.
That must have been rough.
It was the roughest time of my life. But yeah, they took care of me. Like I said, there's the good side to it where the doctors are experienced and they know what they're doing. And I go to the doctor, have you ever done this kind of thing before? And he goes, about 10,000 times, yeah. So I was like, cool. Chill. I just feel like, because as soon as he said that, I was just like, cool, I'm gonna wake up. And yeah, but it was even recuperation afterwards. In my friend's house, they put me up for about a week. And there was nothing from the hospital, no follow-up, no nothing. So, but I don't know if I expected there to be a follow-up, but or they might want to check on it if the operation went okay, but nothing. But I hear it's better. I want to know if it's better. Have you got any good stories
on
recently?
On the
NHS, yeah.
Yeah, I just told you that sciatica is the last thing that's happened to me. So
okay,
I'm still in the healing process.
Right.
Still waiting for that physio, but by the time they give me that, I should be 100% all right.
I think the money is the biggest problem because the doctors are leaving. The doctors are not feeling respected, not being respected. They've got far too much hours. I've got a friend that's a doctor and he must be doing 100 hours a week. And he's been doing it for years. So I don't know how he gets time to see his family. I don't know how he gets time to even think about a holiday. If he thinks about a holiday, is he on holiday thinking about how many patients might be needing him? It's a thankless task. And I respect him so much for that. But it's like these days, there's nothing out there as a good advert for, yeah, stay with us. We'll give you this, we'll give you that, we'll give you pension, we'll give you dental, we'll give you, anything to say, Britain is a good place to go. They're all looking towards private, going to Dubai and servicing people who are rich as hell. Come over there and pull a tooth out for 40 grand. You know what I mean? And don't think about the money that they're paying. They just pay it because they're rich at it. And you can live in a life of luxury over there, as you're like a junior doctor.
Yeah, well, this is it.
They do respect the professionals over there.
No,
and other countries, Canada, all that kind of stuff.
Let's see. Yeah, well, they gotta go where the money is. That's what they're after, as well as looking after people.
So what can we do to tempt them to stay? I mean, if we don't fight for the NHS, it's gone. It's going to be saved by people who want to, who respect it and want and need it, understand how good it is.
Yeah, but they take long to do stuff. We'll end up, like you said, going private. It's just like shops nowadays. They just close down because people are not going into them.
Everyone's online using Amazon.
Yeah, especially like places like Argos, big shops, hardly anyone in there. They closed the one in Tottenham. You know, everyone's going online. So it's about the people. If we're not using it, we lose it.
Amazon, Argos, you say, they used to be in the mall. They used to have 2 shops in the mall. And when I was doing security in the mall years ago, when I was a youth, they had a massive shop. It was so busy. And then, you know, recently I had to pick up something that I bought, or that was bought for me, actually. This was in December, just gone. And they said, you have to go to Sainsbury's. And I was like, for what? To pick this up? From who? Argos. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Because I didn't know. I hadn't gone to Sainsbury's in 8 years or something. I didn't know about where Argos was now. And I was like, what's Argos doing in Sainsbury's? Went in there. They got a nice little cubby hole in the side of the Sainsbury's. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yep. They have that's what they do now, isn't it? They have a renting from Sainsbury, which is most probably cheaper than having their own building.
Of course.
Because they're large buildings, isn't it?
They used to house everything, but now people get it sent.
Yeah.
You know, they buy it on Amazon, not knowing that it's probably bought from Argos. Argos has to take a loss so they can send it to you cheaper. You know, so you can buy it from them cheaper, and then you know, you don't know you're using Argos or it's Comet. You're getting it from Curry's or whatever shop that is advertising on Amazon.
You mentioned Comet.
Remember, I used to work for Comet. That's why.
Comet, boy, that's a long time ago.
Oh my God, I used to drive for them. I used to do picking and packing for them, like components and stuff. I love Comet, man. Comet was good. Shot my age. Yeah.
You let us know the secret of your age.
But it's a good job. I liked it. It's one of the jobs I liked. I used to get a job every day, and I changed this job. I don't like this job and changing it. Gone in my lunch break, get another job by tea time. You know what I'm saying? So, but back in the day when you could just walk out your job, don't like the manager, I'm out. Peace. Just get a next job. But back in the day, the NHS wasn't suffering. The NHS was flourishing. My mum was in the NHS as a nurse. She had nothing but good things to report.
But now the hospitals are full. You got people coming from abroad.
Yeah, they are talking like it's like a war zone.
Yeah, because when you go to
I went straight to, they deal with refugees now. The refugees coming over and taking over the NHS, or is that what the problem is?
Huh?
Is that what the problem is? Is that there's too many refugees just doing, you know, holiday.
It's part of the problem. It's part of the problem. It's not all of the problem. Long queues in A&E.
Immigrants. You're not going to say it out loud? Say it with your chest, man. Come on.
What?
Say it with your chest. It's the immigrants. They did it.
I'm not blaming them.
Oh, okay. I'm not either.
Obviously, they come over. They got to go somewhere, innit?
Absolutely. But do they specifically come to England knowing that they're going to get it as soon as they touch the ground? They can run into a hospital, knowing that the NHS can take care of them.
It's free. They don't have to pay.
Even if they're a holiday, man, they got insurance. They can come over, get certain things done. But again, what my friend, another friend, I've got a few of them. He goes to Turkey to get his dental done.
Yeah, people are going over there. Yeah.
So he's been there a couple of times actually. He said they're cheaper. It's cheaper to go to Turkey and get it done than to stay in England and pay for it.
Tough.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing, that one. I don't understand why it would be cheaper. I mean, when they're talking over here, one implant is $2,000, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, that is
one
that
tooth.
is
One
crazy.
tooth.
That's crazy. That is.
And to be seen just for an assessment is like 65 to 100 quid. And then you have to pay like 200 quid for whatever they're going to do next. Minimum £200. I'm like, how do you know it's not going to cost 50 quid? No, £200. No matter what it is, teeth cleaning, whatever, £200.
It's all about the money.
That's crazy.
That's what it is, mate. That's what it is.
Howdy, how you doing? Who's this? Hey, Mark. Well, go on, boss.
Yes, Blaps, well, go on.
How you feeling, man?
That's
Richard.
Come
That's Mark.
take a look in for your thing, innit?
All right, man.
See what go on, right?
Yeah, support the brethren there. That's all right, man.
You all right?
That's Mark. That's Richard.
You all right, Mark?
Yes, Richard. Yes, bro. You all right?
Richard is the acting coach.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's based in London. Mark is dealing with, he works in Bedford. I'm not sure if he lived there, actually. But he deals with mental health and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Correct, Mark?
Yeah, I work for a mental health team in Bedford, innit? NHS mental health team.
Wow, perfect man to come in today, boy.
But we've got our own organisation, Outreach Music Group, so we do music.
Okay.
Music courses, drama courses, creative writing, that kind of thing.
Okay.
You know.
You're kind of jumpy about a second.
Yeah.
When you
I'm starting up soon actually at Marsh House on Saturdays actually, Victor.
Excellent. Marsh House needs it. Marsh House is in Luton if anyone's interested. So we're talking about the four subjects that I've got planned for tonight in the show. We talk about what happening over here, over there, in the celebrity and community world, and what sparks me off, what gets on my nerves. And today's over here in the UK, we're talking about the NHS. Is it in recovery or is it in demise? What do you think? What do you think, Mark?
Struggling, man. Struggling.
It needs a plaster.
No.
Band-aid.
Yeah.
What is struggling? Is the NHS struggling or you're struggling?
No, the NHS is, man, it's struggling, man. They're broke.
Oh, okay.
They're broke, you know what I mean? But I don't know, it probably might be a little bit too inflated, you know?
Or exaggerated, you mean?
Inflated, like as in, you know what I mean, staff and the amount of money, what they spend on what and stuff, you know what I mean? People might view it that way.
So what about the strikes that have been going on recently? They're striking for a reason. So there's obviously not enough money.
Because of the demands, isn't it? You know, the demands, especially since like post-COVID and that, you know what I mean? It's a lot of demands on the staff, man, and the money's not good, man. For a lot of them, you know what I mean? You know, if you're a consultant, and high up in management, it's not too bad still, but all the people below that, man, you know what I mean? It's not great, man. It's not great at all.
Oh no, it puts on a bit of a stress as well when you're doing hundreds of hours a week and you're not getting paid, you know, properly. So people get disdain. Morale goes down. Other people are leaving and they're going overseas and they're reporting great things happening in Canada, and and America and Dubai and places like that where the money's free flowing.
One of my main gripes as well, a lot of people really pissed about as well, because even the clients, some of the clients you're working with and you're supporting, all right, yeah, it's not their fault they're in a position what they're in, but you know, their income is way superior than yours.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And the expectation, in it, the expectation of what they expect, what you're supposed to give them in about it. You know what I mean? These are people, man, who don't have to work, don't have to do nothing really that much, and they get a ton load of benefits, man. And then when you add it up, and they're way financially better off than you. by a long way as well. Not even by a little £100. I mean, of it. It's big. It's big. It's big, isn't it? Because if you can
It's
draw
a huge
down,
huge gap.
yeah, if you could draw down the like you know, I mean, like an average one of my clients, man, you can draw down the universal credit and then get the enhanced sick benefit on top of it, and then you get the personal independence payment, and then you get your rent paid and your council tax paid, and you get free prescription, and then you get free travel. Fuck. You know what I mean? You know, some of them, boy, some of them have got like, they've got a disposable income of about £1,400 a month.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong industry.
It's creating problems. It's creating problems because, you know, I've been highlighting it for a long time, innit? But because of the cost of living now is starting to bite people, people are thinking, oh, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Why am I killing myself in this
I'm
job?
working like a dog. I'm working like a dog out here, man. You understand?
It's a serious truth.
Yeah, it's you know what I mean. I'm not begrudging the people to have their, you know, to get their benefits or to get whatever they're entitled to because of illness or whatever misfortune they might have. I'm not saying that at all. But obviously, if you've got staff who are expected to carry out all of this kind of work and all of this support, you know what I mean, and they're earning way less than the people they're supporting. It's just like, how does that kind of work? You kind of get it puts people off, and you have to remember, I'm working in the NHS. So what happened to all the people who work in these care homes?
Yeah,
They work in all of these care homes, and they're just getting just above minimum wage, innit? And you have to do all of this stuff for people, you know.
A lot.
You got to
more
take
than
them
you'd have to
about.
do
You
as
got
a
to wipe
nurse.
their ass. You got to do this. You got to do that. You're rare. You got to work on sociable hours. You got to work weekends. You got to work nights. You got to do all of this stuff, man, innit? And then when you look at your pay packet, man, you're just like, what? And that's why they can't keep the staff. They can't keep the staff.
Yeah,
And then you wonder.
People that have parents that were nurses. Like my mum was a nurse, and she used to have nothing but good things to say about nurse. She loved that job. But that was 70s, you know what I mean? 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s coming up. So it's a totally different story, especially after COVID. They've run ragged. They run ragged. It's like a war zone to them, the amount of people that are coming in.
And you can see even like in what I work in as well, mental health and that, like when you go into like the majority of the stuff, they're all black. It's all black African. It's just like it's gone back, you know, tenfold to the days of the 50s and 60s. These are the jobs where people don't want your standard white British or whatever. Nah, they're not working on no mental health ward. They're not doing it. You know what I mean? Or working in the community and that. They're not doing it. Those are the jobs. They don't want them jobs. They want the specialist job. Them psychology. You know, occupational therapists. Them kind of nice kind of job. It's not no frontline hands on. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. So if you go on the wards,
anymore.
If you go on the wards, man, it's just like, you could just say you're in downtown Lagos, mate. You're in Nairobi. That's how it is. That's how it is. And that shows you, innit? So that shows you that these sort of jobs are quite undesirable. So it's like, it's like Windrush generation, isn't it? There's all the undesirable jobs. Fill your boots. You can work on the bus all day long. You can work
it's
you
like a
can work in the
recurring
hospital.
system, isn't it? Next will be the Polish, there'll be the new generation of Windrush, and then you know what I'm saying? It just keep going on. Indian, Asian, Pakistan,
and then you got man like Nigel Farage and their man there, and Tommy and their man there, and they're basically like this modern version of Enoch Powell, isn't it? It's just like history just repeats itself over and over again, isn't it?
My dad named his dog Enoch after. My dad named his dog Enoch. Enoch after Enoch Powell. That's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's a disrespectful dog.
Absolutely. He's a wonderful dog. Let's just say that, though. Mark, have you got any personal experience of having to wait for a long period of time for like a personal appointment or something like that, or to be seen after calling 999? It's in an emergency. Any personal stuff?
Not really. Just the usual doctor's appointment things long, and then you can't get through, and phone before 8 o'clock, and then you phone at 8 o'clock, and it's just engaged for half an hour, and you can't get through, and then you just end up just giving up in it. You just end up giving up, or if you have an appointment and then they say, okay, it might be in 6 months' time, but then they might turn around, oh, we've had a cancellation. Could you come on Wednesday, and it's Monday, and you're like, hold on, I've come for an operation in 2 days. I'm not even ready. I'm not even prepared for that. You know what I mean? I'm not prepared for that. You know what I mean? How are you going to like go and have all of this time off work, and how do you book it all in and that, in it? You know?
Yeah, we started this section
I've had
with
that problem.
We started this section with looking at a video of a man a couple of years ago who had phone meetings because they would like try to expedite the appointments for the doctor to phone meetings, which can be shorter and more abrupt. You could just get on with it. What's your problem? Yeah, go and get the medicine. Blah blah blah. But this guy called in for a necking problem. There was a lump in his neck, and then it was an ear. Then he felt something in his ear. Then it went up into his brain. He was getting foggy and everything. And over 4 phone calls in a month, 20 days basically, he was dead. And it could have been absolutely avoided, but because they were trying to, don't have to do a face-to-face, blah blah blah. They're swamped basically. They only decided at the 4th one, maybe you should come in. And they were even going to refer that one as well. They were even going to say, maybe you don't need a blood test. And that's the one he was waiting 2 weeks to go to. So it's a crazy thing where I think it will only be solved by money, investment, more doctors in education, more doctors, make a better case for being a nurse, a doctor out there.
I'll put a different spin on it, Victor, because how you have to look at it, you only, especially with the NHS, you only hear the horror stories. You'll only hear the horror stories. You never really hear about the good stuff, or where people have really gone the extra mile for someone and really saved somebody's bacon, mate. You understand? So you don't really hear about that. You'll only hear about the shock horror stuff, because that's what sells the newspapers, man. That's what that's what gets the views on the social media. Is the horror stories. You don't really hear the positive stuff. You know what I mean? And as you know, if you've ever like been to Jamaica or like somewhere like that and see how it is out there, then and then you think,
this is paradise.
Get me back to England, boy. Get me back to England.
I just shut my mouth because they train.
Man. When you go downtown Kingston, Victor, man, and you see them mentally unwell people, bro, and you see them and you can smell the piss on them right from about 200 meters, And you're thinking, Ross, who's looking about these people?
Yeah, this wouldn't happen in England. This wouldn't happen in England. Yeah, you always think this wouldn't happen in England.
The way England's going, You know, you could probably see it happening in the next 10, 15 years. But as I said, you know, as it stands at the moment, yes, it's sort of broken, but boy, it could be worse. It could be worse. You know what I mean? You know, last time I was in Jamaica, I went up to Portland, which is right on the outskirts, and I went to the famous jerk place, Boston Jerk, and a fight broke out. One brother got chopped in his back with a machete, and it was a proper chop the brother got, you know, and he just running off. And I said to my brethren, "Where's he running to? Well, what's he gonna do?" He goes, "Where's the hospital?" I said, "Where's the hospital?" And he said, "The hospital's like God knows how many miles." And I said, "Yeah, but what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? He might bleed out." And he's like, "Right." He said, no, man, they'll pack it with something, man. They'll take some bush and pack it up, man. He'll know if it got somewhere. And I'm like, I'm like, wow. This man's probably going to end up in a pit somewhere. Yeah, because the chop the brother give him, you know, Victor, man, it take out a piece of his back with that.
Damn.
And I'm like, gee, you know what I mean? So it's things like that. It's only when you go to places like that, it kind of like makes you kind of wake up and blow the coffee a little bit and think, fuck. If that happened to me now, yeah, I can get whisked up to L&D quite quickly.
Yeah.
L&D, you can just get whisked up there.
You can be rest assured you'll be fine. You know what I mean? You'll be pretty fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard a fun fact from Jamaica is that where, you know, when Beirut was kicking off and all that kind of stuff, when, you know, when we were youths and we had like SAS going everywhere and killing everyone, you know, they trained the first aiders and the people that were bringing out triage and the doctors and the surgeons in Jamaica to deal with war zone around the world.
Yeah.
They trained them in Jamaica, not America. They trained them in Jamaica. I was like, wow, Jamaica that good? No, they just have so much experience.
Because Kingston Public Hospital is right in the middle of the garrison, innit? I think that's just like by Trenchtown and Jonestown.
Right where all the politics is.
Real deep West Kingston, yeah. It's right in the garrison. Slam bam in the middle of it. So
no, but we think we've got a knife problem over here. But the first time I was in Jamaica was about 1982. I'm going to say 82.
Long time.
1982, first time. I was a youth. You know what I mean? I'm not that old. Come on now. I was walking the street and I see a dread just carrying a machete just by his hand, just walking the street. And my dad was like, yeah, they just cut down coconut or something like that. Everyone walking the street. Man cut coconut. Next thing, we're driving a taxi. We're driving a taxi somewhere, and the man get out. Our taxi driver got out, complained about what the one in front did. He come out with his machete. Right? I was like, right, what's going on? And then he just slapped him across the head with it. Slapped him like a slap with his hand. Just like, I was like, damn, these people are good, man. You know what I mean? Didn't cut him, didn't do nothing, just clapped.
Could have been his head missing.
Just slapped him. And I was like, wow, imagine if we were allowed to, like people in America like to carry around their guns. You know what I mean? I've got the AR-15 going shopping in Walmart. And over here, we bring out a knife to juke someone and run around the corner hoping we don't get catch. Right? Imagine if we were allowed to carry gun or knife in England. Imagine the craziness it would be.
A lot more people would die.
Oh my gosh, so much. Anyway, we need to get on to the second subject, man. We're taking a whole hour.
You know what? This is where I have to leave you guys, man.
What? You're going to leave me with Mark, man. Don't leave me with Mark, man.
I've got some theatre stuff to do, man.
All right.
I thought I'd just check it out maybe next time.
Yeah, all right. Come back in when you're ready, man.
Yeah.
We're still until about 10 o'clock. We'll probably chop off.
All right.
All right, man. Thanks for coming in, man. All right. The wars around, this is over there we're dealing with now. Wars around the world. Why does the UK always have to involve itself in a war? Every single time a new prime minister comes, we have a new war to deal with. We have to deal with it because our allies are in it and we're in the UN. So we use that as a buffer to say, oh, we didn't want to get involved because of all this war stuff, but because we're in the UN and we're all protecting each other, we've got things over there we're protecting, but we're only getting involved in supply of resources. And until the thing is over, we're just going to make sure no one goes crazy and does something against the law. But now we've got the Gaza conflict going on, which we talked about last week. I'm saying the UK have been involved in this 70 years ago, and this World War III has been going on for 70 years minimum. And now that America has got themselves involved directly in supplying Israel with weapons for years. Weapons for years. Did I say weapons for years? For decades. They've been supplying Israel for decades, to the point where they've got military bases all around the world, and Israel is one of the largest military bases they have in the world. And so think about this now. Israeli people take up about 9 million people in Israel, where they're occupying in Palestine. And it's not about Israel is that important. It's more about the place where Israel is important.
You're gonna have to start that all from the beginning, Victor, because it cut out. It cut out for about 3 minutes.
Don't worry, man. I'm going to repeat and repeat. Don't worry. I'm going to keep.
What I was going to say to you, can't you WhatsApp the link to me, and I'll send it to.
Oh, okay, cool. I can do that.
And I'll send it to Skip and B, see if they want to come in.
Okay.
Quickly.
So America's got bases all around the planet, over 800 bases. They spend about 3 trillion every year on keeping the bases alive. And Israel is one of the places where they spend the most amount of money. And to think there's only about 9 million people in Israel, and the rest of the 9 million Israeli or Jewish people around the world add up to about 18 million. You have to wonder why they're spending so much on protecting this one place, which seems like on the map insignificant. But now you've got the whole military might of America backing up Israel. For what? What's the point? So I'm understanding, because Britain was effectively in control after the Ottoman Empire of that region and gave it to the Jewish Israel people, the new Jews, I call them. they for thanks in their involvement in the World War II. That's basically what happened. And in '68, they ratified it through the UN and blah blah blah. Even though it was taken back a day later, they still said, "All right, we're going in there. That's going to be our homestead." And from then, there's been conflict with the people that they're trying to oust. As with any colonizer, that's what's been going on. They're rebelling against the colonization and they're basically taking over. They don't want a two-state solution. They feel that they should just take it over because it's indicated in their book, the Torah. So it's a matter of when will we get past this modus operandi of putting someone in power, or putting Benjamin Netanyahu only wants to keep a war going because it keeps them in power. So why this happened in Syria, this happened in Saddam Hussein, this happened with Gaddafi, this happened. There's so many times that this modus operandi has happened. Venezuela, Chile, Cuba, everywhere that we've had a war, they've had a man in place. Even with the towers that came down, they put that man in charge, and then he decided to fly planes into the building, and then they blamed it on him. Right? He's the one that planned this all. But they taught him. Yes, the CIA taught him how to do that stuff.
Yeah.
But so we know who we're talking about here.
Yeah.
But so they killed him and then tried to replace him as well. Mark, have you got my phone number? Because you don't seem to be on mine again.
Huh?
I can't send it to you. Send me a text and I'll send it back. If you got my number, you should have my number. Okay, so what we're trying to do now is to think why do we let the UK continue to get involved in these proxy war when we obviously have we've had it up to here with the wars on resources from places that we descended from, being protected by people who are only interested in siphoning out the resources from it.
Well, we're in a two-party state for one, and both parties will back Israel in it. So you haven't really.
Yeah. 1 second, Mark. Can you wait until I've finished and then unmute? Yeah. So I want to do the layup and then we can all talk about it. That cool? Yeah. Cheers. All right. So when we're talking about Britain and America being allies, they're not just allies in this war, they're allies in wars around the world. And I actually did a screenshot of the information I found about how many people the UK is at war with, and mostly Muslim countries. Okay, so if there's 8 people we're at war with, it's mostly Muslim countries. America, on the other hand, have been on a war footing since Vietnam. They're at war with about 50 countries that you don't even hear about. You don't know what's going to happen in Venezuela. You don't know what's happening in Korea. You don't know what's happening in Taiwan. You don't know where they're being involved in Russia. You don't hear about it because they run the media. So they keep all that blanketed and keep you on the main thing they want you to focus on. And even when they're doing that, they're talking about Cat Williams and they're talking about Trump and they're talking about something else to distract you away from the main thing, which is we're trying to make money at this war. And the main people that we're making money for are Israel. Israel controls America and the UK, in my opinion. Tell me if you think about it, how will we get out of this perpetual war business if we can't just find different ways of getting fuel, which is their main reason? Oh, we're going to run out of fuel. We've got no oil. America produced more oil than Saudi Arabia last year. They produce more oil than Saudi Arabia. So what is the problem? They've also got an untapped well in Venezuela, which is like a third of the world's, spare oil out there that's available. So they could tap that, but they want to control Venezuela to the point where their oil is worthless right now. They want to buy it. They're controlling places like Haiti. They're controlling all kind of resources everywhere on the guys that, the fuel's running out. We need to control it all. We need to make sure that we never have our resources cut from us. Anyway, that's the premise. What do you think we can do? What should we be feeling about this Gaza conflict? Because to me, I was asked, who do you support? And I was like, neither one. I know their history. I know what they did to my people. I've got no interest in this, right? As far as I'm concerned, this is something they've been warring over for 2,000 years. It's not going to stop. And nothing happened new on October than Israel letting them in the back door so they could start a fight to completely wipe them out, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know.
Guys, it's only B1. I ain't got it. I ain't got your number.
What? What's going on here, man? So how am I supposed to send you
stuff? It's only me one in there anyway. Guys, ain't no one else in there, is there?
Zach's there. Don't worry about that. I normally do this. I normally do this show to no one. I used to do this show on Tropical FM. I did 300 shows without people in the chat room. You know what I'm saying? So when people come in the chat room, I could talk to them over the computer and tap out message. But now we've got Zoom. So now I can see some people coming in. But normally I'll be talking to the camera for two hours. Don't worry about people coming in, bro. That's just a new thing. That's all right. Zach, if you want to show your face, let it be known, man. What do you think?
I'm a bit of the same pretext as you. I don't really business, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because as I said, it's not really right. It's not really our argument, is it? And to be honest, most of the Western powers that be whether left wing, right wing, in the centre, they will stand by. They're standing by Israel, aren't they?
Mm. Mark, that's
You've got
Zach.
300.
Mark,
You've
that's
got
Zach.
300.
Zach, that's Mark.
Oh, you're right, Zach. Yeah, you got like 300 to 400,000 people marching in London at the weekends, right? And they don't give a shit what they've got to say. You understand? They don't care.
Don't care.
You know what I mean? They're not backing that. They're not backing no ceasefire. They're still gonna go on in it. So at the end of the day, you know, I don't really know. I don't even know really
It's
if
not
this
ending.
discussion is even worth even entertaining, because they're not listening. They're not listening.
No, we talked about the Gaza war and why Rishi Sunak wants to keep the war going. And he's saying, well, I don't really want to be. I'm just a UK ally to America, and we've got interests over there. And we did give them Israel in the first place, so that's why we've got to make sure that everything comes out right in the end. But we all know he just wants to keep at war because the Prime Minister has to stay in charge. And so therefore, no general election. So that's what last week we were talking about. But this week, we're talking about why is the UK involved in so many of these things around the world when they obviously know their people are tired of war. Why do they keep doing it? That's what the question is. What do you think, Zach? Zach?
Boss man.
Cool. Oh, all right, okay.
Nah, go on. Literally, sorry, because I'm like.
Oh, you're chilling. All right. So, in regards to how many people the UK is at war with now, if you Google it now, they'll come out with a tempered version of how many people they're actually at war with. But it's mostly people like Afghanistan, Korea, ISIS, mainly ISIS, and anything to do with terrorism. They're against them because basically they're allies with America. And if America is at war with them, that means the UN is involved, and that means that UK is involved as well. So
So that technically means
you
like
take on
Hamas.
one of our friends, you fighting all of us, mate. And that's how they keep getting into war and keep getting money spent on these wars, legitimately spending money on these wars, when they could be spending it on things like the NHS we just talked about. They could be spending it on transport. They could be spending it on education. But no, they keep going to war to get their money in the guise of protecting their resource, which is fuel, which we don't need from them. So why are we letting them protect this UN so much? I mean, Russia doesn't look so bad these days when they say the UN is despicable. The reason why they created the UN in the first place was to deal with Russia, you know, as a method to control Russia. Because if Russia decide to wipe us out, we're done in half an hour. A strong half hour as well. The amount of nuclear weapons Russia have got, they could wipe out America and Britain in half an hour. Not a problem. But the fact that we're all doing business through these wars, all these people they say are at war with each other, they're all still doing business with each other while the war's going on. It's not like, oh, no, we don't want to talk to you. No, want to talk. They're all still doing business. Palestine's still doing business with Israel. Even though you've got people in the UK doing protests about Starbucks or who's there? Adidas? I can't remember, you know, other people that have got business over there that came from Israel, but, you know, silly things like that. I'm just like, okay, you're going to protest a company that is comes from that country. Good for you. I mean, I don't know. I don't see how that stops the war from happening, but you're certainly crippling someone's livelihood. And the worst thing you can do is take away someone's funds to stay alive to feed their kids. That's not going to let them stop doing war. If they're getting money from war, or they're getting money from being a company that comes from that country, they're going to keep doing it, no matter what you say. Even though I think Starbucks has changed their name to Vista. Tell me if I'm wrong, someone. To Vista Coffee or Vista something. I think they've changed it. Have they?
I wouldn't be surprised. You know, it's funny. I had someone come in today whilst I was at a job, and they asked. They said, basically, they were working on behalf of a union, and they came in and they were trying to get the company cooperative, the workers, to basically sign up on behalf to join their union. And yeah, no, it's interesting, man, because obviously there's some people really are for it. I think it's a fantastic idea. And then some people just think, nah, man, it's a con, it's a scam. It's another loophole for somebody to pretend to be doing good on behalf of a lot of people, and that it's got a lot of benefits and pros, but really it's just benefiting the man at the top. It's getting his yard nice and fresh and everything like that. Whilst all the other people,
keeping the elite.
Yeah, exactly. So
Call himself
you
elite,
know,
but they ain't elite.
and do you know what the man at this job said to me? He said, yeah. I asked him because I like when somebody gives their opinion, I want to hear why, whether they agree with me or disagree with me, or I'm on the fence. Regardless, I want to hear that person, because otherwise I'm gonna be fucking. There ain't no progress, you know. Whether it's the man who says he likes to eat monkey meat, bruv, or horse meat. I might eat. They might not even like to eat. I might just like eating vegetables, innit? Let alone eating the crazy meat like that. Everyone has their reason why they do something, yeah. But what I'm getting to is like this man
Kind of
said,
specific, monkey meat, kind of specific. Okay.
yeah, exactly. But, you know what I mean?
No.
If you're living in the jungle and it's the only meat that you can get in it, then fuck it, you're gonna eat
There's
it.
a
Or
lot of meat
don't.
in the jungle, bro. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Because we are.
protein is how you view it, isn't it?
True story.
Protein is protein. There's places in the Caribbean who eat monkeys, mate.
Yeah, some people get it from spinach, you know, so good.
Yeah, they yum it up.
They're on
I'm
the
thinking
Popeye thing.
Saint Kitts, they eat monkey, innit?
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
Yeah, they do.
But that was some monkey laugh, Victor.
The views of people on this show are not necessarily of my own.
They do. But
people are saying,
from
"Kids, I didn't know you did that."
Protein is protein, bro. Protein is protein. In Dominica, they eat them big frogs, innit? Them big bullfrogs. They eat what they call it,
jungle.
spring chicken.
No, they call it jungle chicken, isn't it?
Froggy.
Yeah, they eat it.
Yeah.
They eat it. Jamaica practically ate all of the turtles.
Okay.
They yam the turtle them till there's hardly any left.
In existence.
Yeah, so you know.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
But, why are we talking about monkey meat again? I don't know.
No. I was getting to my point. I was saying about sorry.
That brought it up, man.
Yeah. Sorry, I brought it up because it was an analogy. Yeah, but no, I was getting to my point. Was the with the union thing, like what's good and what's wrong. So the guy said to me why he didn't like the union was because in a specific area where I'm at currently working, we're in Gloucestershire at the moment. So there's quite a few mining towns around, and he said that a lot of the miners lost their job because of one man at the top at the union.
So now they're eating monkey meat.
Fuck off. No,
who's that? Arthur Scargill. Was that they're talking about Arthur Scargill in them days in the miners' strike?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think that was the guy, man. Yeah, something like that. Completely unions and just certain systems that have been instilled and people think are correct and are good. Like that's what he said. He said he liked the principle and the idea. And I was like, oh, so what is it then? Is it the people that corrupt it? And he said, yeah, exactly that. So, do you know what I mean? It's just, it's a shame.
But being off a bit older, because I assume I'm a bit older than you, Zach, innit? Well, I can remember of the miners' strike in the 80s, innit? Maggie would not stop. Maggie would not stop until she crushed them. It's a bit like Israel and Gaza. They're not stopping until the whole of that is been destroyed.
They're going to be in
and that is
Stone
what
Age
done.
business.
And that's what we've done to the miners. Basically, she didn't ramp. She didn't stop.
Sure, to make sure that if she's gone, they never come back.
Yeah. And
Where
a
the
lot of
coal
those
at?
places, a lot of those places are like, you know what I mean? Because I say this to people all the time, Victor, you know what I mean? Because, you know, Luton's got such a shit name. Oh, Luton's a shit, oh, Luton's shit, Luton's, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying, right, have you lot ever travelled? Have you ever been to some of these places up north? Huh.
They're bad.
That's when you're going to see
Desert
something.
towns, desert
That's when you're
towns,
going to see
houses
something, mate. You
boarded
go
up
up
all the
north.
way down.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
derelict.
I've travelled the most of this country. I've travelled the majority of it. And I've seen some places, Victor, man. And I'm like, Bomba Clark, you can't wait to come back to Luton. You can't wait. You think, oh my God,
It's
and then
crazy.
sit down
It's
and cuss
crazy.
Luton.
I keep telling people,
Let them
right?
sit
When I
down
go
and
to
cuss
visit,
Luton, mate. You need to travel, man. You'll see something. You will see something. What Thatcher done to the north. My God. What?
well, I'm Spence.
Yeah, man.
You made it wicked. I can't hear you, bro.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Maybe you're not worth listening to, mate. You know what I mean? Oh,
He's
yeah, I'm
muted.
muting Mike. Yeah, you're worth it. You're worth it. Come on in there. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, is he gone?
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
yeah, Mark reminded me, you know what I mean?
Oh, skiing. So it's good, man.
Yeah.
Because like he's saying he ain't got my number again, so I couldn't send him a message to bring it in, but he got in, so he probably sent that to you.
No, what I've done, I went on Facebook, copied your link, and sent it
You
to
see,
Skip. That's
it's genius. That is the genius.
Innit?
Okay, it's
Lucky,
probably
you
why
see
I
me.
put it up.
I'm helping. I'm spreading the word for you, brother.
That's
Come
good
on,
enough.
big up.
All right, so
Just
when we
couldn't
talk
leave you on
about
the platform on your own.
Spence, this is how we do it, man. I'm talking about 4 subjects in every BLAPPS Talk we do. Better living in a positive propaganda system, talking about real knowledge. Over here in the UK, over there outside the UK, celebrity and community world, and what sparks me off or gets on my nerves. So we've already gone through. You've missed it. You're late, bro. The typical black man thing you're doing. So
Well,
it's
you know,
like got to live up to it. All right. So
I live up to it, man. I don't want to let you down.
you're proper black. Okay, so we did over here, which is talking about the NHS and can it be saved or is it in demise? We're talking about now, why is the UK always involving itself in proxy wars they know their people don't give a damn about? For instance, the Gaza conflict, this is one they're involving themselves big time in now because America's backing up their baby, Israel. They're in it because of America, but America are basically over a barrel by Israel. Israel running them both. You know what I'm saying? They're ordering them to supply them with this amount of money and this amount of armory and everything because they know they control that region for America, for UK. And so UK just have to say, yeah, we'll give you something, but don't tell no where you got it from, you know, that kind of thing. And we're trying. Are you sending stuff to America, England? Are you sending stuff? You know, the people ask in the UK. Are you sending stuff over there? Said, no, we have to get involved because the UN in it. We're all we're brethren.
Right, but didn't UK have something to do with Israel?
They owned
the
the whole territory and gave it to Israel because of the war. Yeah, we've done that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So what we're talking about now is why but they're at war with a lot of countries, 7 countries. 7 or 8 countries UK is at war with right now, outside of this one. And they're all proxy wars because of the UN. Do you see what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. But America are in war with about 50 odd countries. They've not been off a war footing since Vietnam. Right? So they're at war with loads of people around the country. You just don't hear about it because you ain't got the control of the media like they do. I have to go to Al Jazeera to get news of what's happening in America.
Yeah, that's probably quite a reliable source still. That's a bit better. That's a better source than your
I don't stop with
local.
one. I stop with African news first. But anyway, we're talking about what can we see what's happening, you know, in the future with this. And I always say this too shall pass. What's it going to pass on to? So I'm thinking about why are we getting involved in this? Oh, it's because of fuel. They're trying to create war to keep the elite because that's where they make their main money. Anything to do with life or death, they're in control of it. And so that's what we're discussing right now. We're about to go into celebrity and community in a few minutes. So anything you want to say on that? What do you think? What are your views?
You know, so I've been watching it slightly, you know, because to me, it's all part of it's like a role play, isn't it? It's just like,
it's nothing to do with us.
yeah, but it's like a role play. These things have to play out in this manner. They know what they're doing. They already know what they're going to do.
Yeah, both of them enslaved us in the past. So
yeah, they already know what they're gonna do and how it's gonna pan out. So
Hmm.
it's just going through the motions, if you understand what I mean.
Are you
So I
of the
try not.
same? Sorry, man. Are
Huh?
you in the
Yeah,
same
go on.
thinking of me that don't tell no one that Israel started it by letting them in the back door? I'm saying we can't see you, man. We've taken down the iron bell, you know, the iron cage thing. What's the name that protects us? So we can't see all you coming in with your hang gliders and your motorbikes. Oh, look, they're in. They killed our people. Oh, we have to kill them all now. Yeah, we have to do that.
Yeah.
Strange, right? It's the most watched place on the planet for America. They can see you, what side is heads or tails if there was a penny on your boot, right? So they can see it from their satellite.
Yeah,
They can
if
see
you're
if it's
reading the
heads or tails.
newspaper, if you're reading the
Exactly.
newspaper, they can see exactly what
But
you're
they
reading.
didn't see these people coming in for 2 hours. Yeah, coming in, hacking up people, shooting up whole parties and everything like that. They didn't see him for 2 hours. And the whole place 365 locked down every year for 70 years.
Yeah,
Come
so
on.
they say. They
Make
say
it
they
make
didn't see it,
sense.
but so they say, innit?
Bullshit. They let them in, man.
Yeah.
They let them in just so they can wipe them out. What are you
You
going
know,
to say?
they want them to work. They want to wipe them out, don't they? And like you said, Israel is America's baby in the sense of any artillery and ammunition that America has, Israel have. Do you know what I mean? Because they're kind of surrounded by these, I don't know, Muslim countries, so they say.
Mhm.
So they make out that, you know, they need this and that to survive. But all these countries around them want to wipe them out. But yeah, they want to wipe out Gaza, don't they? And yeah, it's dread
Well,
still.
they want the whole land for themselves as decreed by their Torah, by their book, right? It's decreed that they're supposed to be the Israelites' land, but they're not the original. So who are they
Well, there you
talking
go
about?
again. That's the question again.
Who are they talking about?
They're Jewish, aren't they? Are they Israelites?
Jewish, yeah.
Yeah.
As the
You know,
joke
they're
goes.
Israelites. Yeah. So
They're not the originals.
yeah,
So
so it's questionable, you know what I
when
mean?
I was
Anything they do
told
is
that, I
questionable.
was like, okay, so why is America getting involved then? Because Britain used to own it. They gave it to, what's America got to? Oh, yeah, they helped end World War II by getting America involved. Then they become allies afterwards by default. Therefore, Israel runs both UK and America now. That makes sense. Cool. But why are they continuing to supply arms for so long in a region where there's only like 220 million people? You know what I mean? Why? Why this region? Because it's landlocked. Russia is just over there. Egypt's just over there. Jerusalem's just there. Syria's just there. You see what I'm saying? It's just in this area. You got this place where all the oil and people at Iran and everyone like that is just over there. They can just in bombing distance. You see what I'm saying to you? Right? It's from people that have got bases, military bases in 800 places around the planet. America has got 3 times the budget of everyone else combined to support their military. And Israel has got the most stockade of weaponry out of all the 800 places. Why? We're not stupid.
But like I said, that's part of the propaganda in it. That because they're surrounded by all these countries that want to wipe them out, so called. You
Why would
know,
you let them
they have to have that sort of military presence. You know, that kind of ammunition. And America, like I said, what America's got, they've got.
And they're pushing them to provide it too.
And I think they've got a bit of a point, to be honest, because don't think the Israeli them, because don't think they won't. Don't think them other Arab nations wouldn't, you know, if they could, they would.
What do you mean?
They'll take them out. They will take out their
That is true. That is true as well, Mark. That is true.
They're saying if we didn't have something to oppress the Gazans and make them think twice about trying to wipe us out, that if we stop for a day to think about a two-party state, a two-state region, that they'll wipe us out overnight. Is that what you're saying to them?
No. I'm saying why they've got so much arms. I'm not on about two-party state or nothing.
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying
know why they got so much arms.
why they feel the need to have that many to be armed to their teeth. You understand? It's because of that. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
You know, I don't know why. I don't know why they can't just have a two-party state. I don't know why. You know what I mean? I don't know. I haven't looked at it that deeply, but that just seems like the most best solution, in my opinion, innit? They must have learned. They must have just got share, innit? They must have got share, but it coming like they don't want to. It's like they don't want to share.
They don't want to share.
But
I think from all this, we need to see that we need to be more proactive in pointing out Britain's bullshit, their bovine defecation. No. You're not falling. We're not falling for a banana in tailpipe again. We don't need the resources you say we need. We don't need to control that region like you say we do. We've got plenty to be going on with. If they want peace, they can get it for themselves. We don't need to get ourselves involved. We need to point that out more, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. But like, let me get onto the celebrity and community. At the time I'm talking, Spence, lock off your mic. I'm only going to be talking for about 5 minutes. I'm going to play a video right now. And then when I invite you back in, you can tell me what's what. Let me just share my screen. Today's celebrity community is talking about hip hop. Can it get rid of racism? So I'm going to talk about Killer Mike and what he's done for racism in the past. Activating the people then.
They wrote a article in the Washington Post that said Killer Mike might be right. And it specifically highlighted over the last 300 or 400 years how gun laws were not only used against African Americans and indigenous populations, but created to control them. Going back to the 1600s, if you had a gunsmith store, you were any type of metalsmith, you could not work legally on an Indian's gun. Fast forward, they had slave patrols. Well, no, not slave patrols, because slavery was over. They had literally, they deputized all white citizens in Florida to be able to go into black households and take guns out arbitrarily.
Right, the next one here somewhere. Is it?
And how are you feeling in yourself?
Scared. I'm worried it could be cancer.
Okay. All right. Did everyone hear that one? Everyone see that video of Killer Mike? Cool. Spence nodding, that's cool. I'm trying to bring up another one. But it's not. Okay. Can you see this one?
Urged them over the weekend to find a better way. This is just part of what he said.
It is your duty not to burn your own house down for anger with an enemy. It is your duty to fortify your own house so that you may be a house of refuge in times of organization. And now is the time to plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize.
Killer Mike joins us now, and Mike, I know you're the son of a police officer, an Atlanta police officer. You've got cousins on the force as well. That news conference over the weekend, as I understand it, you were speaking spontaneously, and it was a message that was meant for the people of Atlanta, but it went viral, it went nationwide, it resonated with so many people, Mike. Why do you think that is? Why did that message in this moment speak to so many?
I think that I acknowledge, since I was talking to Atlanta, I acknowledged the fact, and my father didn't go all the way through retirement. He was police force when I was a child, and I'm a young man. And I'd like to say I was an activist even before I was a rapper. I've been organizing since I was 15 and now am more of a mobilizer. I think that it hit home because it spoke to black people in Atlanta and beyond from a true place. We have people on both sides, but my job wasn't defending the police in that moment. It was establishing the fact that I do have policemen in my family and that many of us know. But bigger than that, it was the fact that as black people in Atlanta and beyond, our priority beyond the confrontation of this moment is to plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize to destroy the system. It's more than just individual officers. It's more than even just municipalities. There's a system of systemic racism that runs rampant in our justice system or our injustice system, and we need to address that. There's a system that allows for two men who are associated with law enforcement to hunt down a black man and kill him in Brunswick, Georgia. There's a system that allows for an officer that has had the record that the officer that killed the young man in Minnesota had to even still be on the force. And the destruction of that system is going to take organization. And that people are organizing on the ground. I want to acknowledge that. That speech was talking to young people who feel the anger and the pain and frustration, but may not have found the organization yet to help them express that. There are organizations on the ground in your city. They need your help. And after this moment of spontaneous emotion, I want you to join those organizations and fight the system on a daily basis.
Hey, Mike, really quickly here, you said something. I want to encourage everyone to go back and look at that speech in its entirety. You said you woke up mad as hell and you wanted to see the world burn down. And we've seen a lot of burning over the last few days. But you said for those responding with violence and destruction, how can they mobilize and organize to create the change that you're talking about?
There are organizations, Next Level Boys Academy in Atlanta, Paw Kids. There's a Florida Restoration Coalition that's got 900,000 former felons their rights to vote and other rights back. You have the Movement for Black Lives, Live Free. You have organizations, Black Rights Now. You have organizations now that are doing this work. So I am compelled to encourage us to join those organizations, including the grandfather and grandmother organizations like the NAACP, the SCLC. There are organizations on the grassroots and ground level that need you. So beyond the moment, beyond this moment, we need to extend the movement. We are a part of an over 100-year campaign to have our human rights and our workers' rights recognized, to not be victims of a system. And we have to see ourselves as continuing an ongoing movement and not just victims responding. We are not victims. We are organizers. I don't care if you're a 17-year-old kid or a 12-year-old kid that's outraged. Get 10 of your friends and figure out on a local level which organization needs your help. Join that organization and fight on a local level. Fight like hell.
Killer Mike, thank you. Your voice is becoming valuable. Please come back. Thank you so much for all that you're doing.
I appreciate you. Love and respect.
Rapper Killer Mike, not just a rapper, but an activist as well. We'll be back in a moment. But first, this is Today on NBC.
Okay, so that was Killer Mike, world famous rapper, one of my favorites. Seems to have lost Zach, I think. I don't know if Zach's still there. All right, so with Mike's back on, peeps, we're ready to chat. My feelings on this is that there are people of prominent nature like Cat Williams, like Public Enemy, Flavor Flav, people that are out there that have in the past talked against the man on a high level and have organized things going on like Ice Cube. There's rappers that have been old school rappers that have been involved in like Zulu Nation and stuff like that going on for years. And they've always motivated the young ones to be amplified in their rejection of what's going on in America, the racism, the systemic racism in all areas of justice, law enforcement, education, health and violations, all kinds of things that are going on over there on a yearly basis for 200, 300 years. Now, in regards to other people that might have a voice, I'm not saying they should stop talking. I'm just saying these young'uns listen to their peers. They listen to their idols. They listen to their role models, and their role models seem to be rappers, people in hip hop, pimps, all kinds of stuff. So we should be motivating these people to become more political, I feel, rather than just saying, get money, 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 get money, get money, money. You know what I'm saying? And just promote that to the youth. They should be doing the old school thing, which is to fight the power, talk about Africa, link to your descendants and your ascendants, and talk more on the future of our nation. What do you think? Go ahead, Spence. You're in the music. You're in the music industry. Silence is good. Oh, cool.
I hear what yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, but then it's down to the individual. Yeah, they have the pulpit, so to speak. You know what I mean? They have the youth's ears. Do you know what I mean? In their pocket, basically. Anything they say, the youth them latch onto. You know, with it, as an artist or a rapper, singer. You know, they've got the ears, but it does depend on the individual, because what are they about? Do you understand? Some of them gangster raps or gangster rappers or whatever so called, they may not even have community, you know what I mean, in their heart,
Really
in a
interested
sense
in
of
that.
yeah, they may not even be interested in about.
Yeah, if you're talking about people like Kanye West, say it. Just say what
yeah, no,
Kanye. It's Kanye.
I'm not directly saying any artist in particular.
He's been seen. Well, let's talk about him for a second, a hot minute. Let's talk about him because he's just what I seen him wearing a Ku Klux Klan hood, a black one now, like a fashion item. We don't need to be listening to this guy. He's an obvious coon. We don't need him. Just because he's got money, he's not. Oh yeah, we impressed that he got money, but there's other people with money that we don't even talk about. People of industry, people in studio that own the whole studios. You know what I mean? Because Tyler Perry's gay, we don't chat about him. We go, oh, he's got all that money and everything, but he's being gay, so he can't be my role model because I'm not down with that. Fine, that's okay, but has he got a good message though? As long as he's not dealing with madness and he's dealing with steady progress towards a proper goal, I will listen. Do you get me?
This is what I'm saying. It's down to the individual. Do you know what I mean? What you're talking about, man like Diddy or
who should be promoted is what I'm asking.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's down to the individual to see what they're putting out there, and if they care, and if they do care about their own community, then yeah, they should be, you know what I mean, political.
I've got a quick question. Sorry, because I just came back. I had to leave. Sorry, brother. Sorry to interrupt you, man. Because I did literally just come in and heard the last bit, and you're talking about artists and the impact and the influence they have upon the size.
That's Spencer. That's Zach.
Yeah, big up, Spencer, man. Nice to meet you, brother. Yeah. So yeah, I just kind of had to leave and come back in again. But yeah, what was it you were talking about? I guess you're talking about like what the influences.
There are rappers out there that back in the day, the old school rappers used to talk about Africa. They talked about progress. They talked about unification. They talked about education, talking about our culture needs to be vitalized. We've lost it because of slavery, blah blah blah. And then there was a wash of a time where it was just like gangster rap, because the people that were in charge, they didn't want to talk about positivity anymore. They wanted to talk about getting into jail, because then if people are angrier and people are shooting each other and drinking next to an armory next to a liquor store in every neighborhood, then they'll be killing each other and they'll be going to jail, and I own the jails, therefore I'm going to make billions.
Money.
And so
okay, let me jump in. Let me jump in quickly.
You're hot now. You're hot now.
No, I'm not hot. I'm not.
Go for it, man. Come in.
Going back to I mean, most people have probably seen this. The video, All Eyes on Me, the Tupac story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, there's a bit where the directors call him in to the office and say to Tupac, "Yo, we like the album, but we just don't like the one about what's the name? Someone's got a baby. What's her name? I forgot
Brenda's
the
got a
name.
baby.
Brenda's got
It's
a
too
baby."
political.
Right. And they said to him, "Yo, it's too political, it's a bit sad, makes you feel down. We don't really want that on the album." And he was like, "Nah, that's gotta be on the album, because that's raw. That's what people know about. You know what I mean? In the community where I come from, this is life, this is reality." But that just shows you, do you know what I mean, the angle of what can happen in the business. Like you said earlier, Sifu, Eric Bean, Rakim, and them man there, African Bombard, them man there was telling you about your community, your roots, and your culture, even Public Enemy. Do you know what I mean? Standing up to the man at the time. But there
KRS.
was that time, but KRS one, do you know what I mean? Big Daddy Kane. But there
Guru,
was just,
Gangster.
there was that time. Yeah, but there was that time when it all switched around. Do you know what I
And they all
mean?
turned gangster, and because the people in charge didn't
Right.
want the positivity being driven like before.
They wanted a certain amount of music, certain talk, a certain propaganda spread across.
I wouldn't even go that deep. I wouldn't even go that deep. Music and trends, man. Things change. Trends change in music.
I like the
Time.
gangster
I'm
rap
not saying
myself.
the man,
I don't mind it.
the man then will never want black man to talk positive anyway. Oh, okay, cool.
There you go.
But I don't think that's just it either. I think music and genres change and styles change, man, and it changes all the time. It's like in Jamaica, they're up in arms about trap dancehall's ruining reggae, and it's ruining this and it's ruining that. And to be honest, as time goes by, the trap artists them are coming into themselves, and they're selling out arenas, man. They're selling out arenas. And to be honest, we're not supposed to like. We're not supposed to like the music what our kids like, and our kids are not supposed to like the music we like.
No, we're not.
It's that's how it works, isn't it? You know what I mean? My dad's got bloody Jim Reeves records. Am I listening to fucking Jim Reeves? No. My dad's cussing and telling me and my sister the music's rubbish. Oh, you that tune up, oh, you that music up there. And that's how it is. And that's just how that's life. That's just life,
but
man.
I was just pointing out the fact that in the autobiography of Tupac, All Eyes on Me, how they pointed out to him that they didn't want Brenda Has a Baby on the album because Brenda Has a Baby.
Yes.
That's what it's called, isn't it? Yeah, they didn't want that on the album because it was too raw,
political, too social, political.
So I was just pointing that out at the time to say that that's kind of not just the propaganda, that's kind of like the agenda at that time, you know?
Yeah, but it's a bit of both.
Right. Things do change.
It is a bit of both, isn't it? Vibes changes. You understand? From like, if you're looking from ska, the ska was in Jamaica, and then people just got fed up with it. It's too fast, man. It's just wearing me out, man. Just slow that shit down. And as Rocksteady come in, and Rocksteady's all lovey-dovey, and it's all about love and all of that. And then black man's coming and saying, but the black man's read autobiography of Malcolm X and see Black Panther Party in America and that, and think, fuck that, revolutionary talk, man.
What I'm saying,
Bob Marley stopped wearing his suit. Bob Marley stopped wearing his suit and tie and comb his hair and nothing up and put on dashiki and put on camouflage jacket.
But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter who's got the platform at the moment, who's in front of the lectern. I don't mind if it's 2 Chainz or if it's KRS-One or if it's Yachty. I don't care who's in front of the mic, as long as they've got a platform with millions on it and they're talking the right message that progresses us. I'm feeling that we should push the ones that want to progress us forward, as in to say, this guy knows what's on our minds and is the way forward. He's one that's going to...
Unfortunately, Victor, you know what I mean? You're on the wrong side of 30, bruv. You're on the wrong side of 30, so we can't really dictate. We can't really dictate the pace of what the youth them are going to gravitate to. We can't dictate it again. They will dictate that.
Yeah, but they can dictate it. We can say, why don't you hear what this guy's saying? We can say
we're
that
a smaller
to them.
percentage. We're a smaller percentage, Black. The
Doesn't
youth,
matter.
will jump on the alkaline, or the younger youth, them
You sound
they
like,
will jump
Skip,
on that
you
real
sound
small
like sound man
percentage.
like me.
I
Skip,
remember.
now listen a minute, but you sound like man like me, Skip, right? Let's go back to 1991, yeah? Right, we're starting the sound we're playing now, right? Do you think any of them man there in any of those sounds, right, could have told us, don't play Mad Cobra, don't play Terry Ganzi, don't play Buju, play fucking this, that.
No, it's
Or
not
you should be listening to that.
They couldn't do that.
Would we have listened to them?
Hell no.
You know, exactly. It's not fucking happening. You're not listening to that. You're just going to be
Who's
like,
playing
oh
safe
man,
for you, bro?
oh man, go and sit down. Oh man, go and sit down. You understand? You then will gravitate to what they want to gravitate. Some of the youth them do. Some of the youth them like the old stuff.
Yeah, we're a smaller percentage as well. So we can sit there and make all the noise we want. We're only like 25%. The young youth them is like 70. Do you know what I mean? So when they
And
want
to
to
be honest, some of them will, right? Because I'm going by the sound system thing now. Look how much root sound systems there are now, run by youth them, building up their own sound them and playing dub and Rasta music, and they're all over the world. They're building up, and no one's had to kind of like tell them to do that. That's some aspect of the culture, what they choose to like, in it. But I don't think it's going to be up to dictate. They will make that decision. They will make that decision.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. But what I'm saying is that if we got someone out there that is pretty prominent right now, and they are pushing a progressive narrative as to what we should be trying to achieve for our people, blah, 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 I feel that we should, in our own media channels, say, yeah, back that one up, and see if the youth them say agree with us. That's cool. I mean, only like 2013, I went to Public Enemy concert and brought my children, grown-up children, and they danced right next to me. I slapped Flavor Flav's hand, they had a rave same time. You know what I mean? I was jamming to them when I was 18. And now I'm 30 odd with my, I'm 40 odd with my children.
But to be honest, I think yes, there will be the exception rather than the rule. You understand?
That's all right. We'll find the exception and push them.
There will be kids who will gravitate and acknowledge what their parents like and everything. But generally, you then find music for themselves. They don't want to listen to what you're telling them. They will discover it into themselves, and then you turn around and laugh at them when they come and say, "Oh, Dan, listen to this." And say, "Oh God, come on!" And just now you're finding that out. You know what I mean? But you've got to let them find it in themselves, innit? My son's like that. My son was never interested in the sound system culture, never really interested in the reggae thing. But when I got in his car the other day, the man's beating some pure Aini Kamosi. I'm like, what do you know about Aini Kamosi? No, man, I like it. I've been listening to it for ages. I said, oh, okay, there you go. Fine, yeah. He found it himself.
This is what I play. The person I put up to back up Mark, the person I put up to back up what I'm saying was Killer Mike. Killer Mike is well known. I
know Killer Mike.
Exactly, you know Killer Mike. When Black Panther came out, the music of Black Panther, they made Run the Jewels made the backing tune for Black Panther, right? And so the youth them that were watching Black Panther wanted to know where the music came from because it's so harsh, it was so awesome. And then they learned about Killer Mike, and now they know Killer Mike wants to make farms and stuff for a whole town for black people, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff going on. They might buy into it because he's doing something that they can relate to already. They might find out what else is going on. He's also connected. He's also connected to a guy called Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is like one of the pretty much the richest guy on YouTube, and he's got the biggest platform on YouTube. Like 50 million people watch his stuff, and so he's meant to be for years.
Something.
He does a lot of philanthropy stuff. He makes money.
Say that name, Victor. Sorry, I didn't know Mr. Who.
His name is
He
Mr.
gives
Beast.
away a lot of stuff, like money
and so Mr. Beast has done collaborations with lots of different rappers.
Say that again. I don't hear what you're saying. Mr. Who?
Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
He's a young guy, white guy.
Oh, beast as in animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
I can't believe you don't know who I'm talking about. Anyway, he's
No, I don't know who you're talking about. You
but
don't,
anyway,
I don't know.
he's a young man, and he's got young people around him, and they do young people mad things and get paid for it, big time money.
Oh,
He
cool.
just, you know what? He was doing all the reviews and that. That's how he
He's
was.
a bit. He's a bit like Sidemen then. He's a bit like KSI and Sidemen.
Yes, like that.
Oh.
Sidemen got their idea for their team from him.
All right. Okay.
Right. And he's much bigger than them as well. But anyway, he's in gaming, and Mr. Killer Mike is a big gamer as well. Like myself, I'm a big gamer, and so in the community of gaming, the youth them know him. And so when he's spreading his music, they're listening. When he's doing collaboration with Mr. Beast, they're listening. When he's doing stuff outside in the community, they're listening. So I'm not saying like, oh, I'm going to choose who you listen to now because I think they've got a great man. I'm not doing that
But they won't. Because if you come that way, if you definitely come that way, that you will run them.
Yeah, I'll run
them. They're run in the other direction. Of course
I've
they will.
got grey hairs, bro. They're not listening to me.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, cool.
That's right. I agree with you. You can't force the team. You can't force the team. You have to let it happen organically. Yeah, you have to love it. You've got basically you've got to set up your team, stick to your guns, do your thing, right? And if the youth them come and see it and rate it, that's a bonus. That's a bonus. And
let them take it over. Let them take it over. Yeah.
Because that's the only way. That's the only way.
Absolutely.
Innit? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, there was no way when I first started DJing, right, that any fucking man over 30 could come tell me any blood clot thing about Studio One or double this and that or play this and that. I'm like, what?
I'm a grown-ass man. You can't tell me anything, man. I'm gonna do
You're mad. You're mad. I got some brand new mad copper right here. I got some brand new Caperton. Well, I just bought some Fender.
I just listened to some Barrington Lee guy just today. I just found the videos and he's teaching someone that scene. You know that tune, that one.
Skip. I remember. I don't even know if you was about Skip. It might be just before your time, man. But I remember going one place. Yeah, must have been some blues in Berry Park or somewhere playing somewhere, right? And I played Caperton's Bumper Red. Oh my god. Oh my god. I nearly got lynched. I nearly got lynched in the place.
What?
Yeah. I was blaspheming. I was creating blasphemy in the dance.
It's Scar or nothing. It's Scar or nothing. You can't play that reggae business. How very dare you, sir.
Big narrative. It's big narrative, brother.
Yeah, man. And you talk for spread, and you talk for spread bomber it.
You can't say them things on. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get on to that's celebrity and community. If you want to continue talking about it after this last section, that's cool. But I want to get this section in, so we're under time and we're good, and then you could talk about anything we've talked about tonight, especially for the late ones that come in. They might want to talk, give some input on the other stuff we were talking about today. So so keep your mics on, please, off. Sorry, and then I can chat about this for 2 minutes. What sparks me off this day is when people tell you that you're doing something great, you got a great idea, you're awesome, then they don't go out and tell anyone else. They just try to steal your idea for themselves, or they try to put you down. Now, this has happened to me a myriad of times. Wow, it's my life story, basically. But I'm one of these guys that come out with a lot of ideas. I do a lot of things. I try to go with every instinct that I think, oh, that would be a great idea. I'm going to try and put it in action, see how it goes. If it fails, it fails. But I'll find out. And then I'm doing something for a long period of time, for like 10, 15 years, and it's been well known. And people, parents are coming up to me and say, this is wonderful. You should have a massive platform. You should go to America and get paid £100,000 a year. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to bastardize my team just to get a little change. And then you come back and tell me I sold out. Nah, that's not going to happen. And then they go, don't tell no one, even though they love it. They don't tell anyone you're doing it. Even though you're going in and saving people's lives with what you're doing, they don't go off and tell anyone. even though you save people from doing stupidity in their life, completely would have mashed their life up, lost their marriage, gone off the rails and you saved them. And they said, thank you so much. And they give you even a testimony to say, this is what he did for me. It's awesome. You should try it. They've done the testimony. But then when you see him 5 years later, did you tell anyone? No. You gave your testimony because you asked for a testimony. They were great for that time. And if you didn't write it and put it out somewhere, no one would ever know about it. But that person that you saved, they ain't telling no one. Why? Why does that happen? I want to know why people do this stuff. I want to know from you guys, have you ever experienced the same thing yourself? And what can we do to stop these incredibly ungrateful people?
I don't know. I don't know what you could do. Maybe it's just human nature and that's how mankind are. But I've been through that. I've been through something very similar, and we had some quite interesting outcomes. So I'll give you a bit of insight. So we got the music group. Music group's been running, right? One of the girls who helped me start it, Georgia, right? So Georgia used to come along and help me just run the group. And then she decided that, because she's into her poetry, she's into her spoken word. Sometimes we had like people at the music group just not doing anything because maybe the tutor is working with someone else and they haven't got nothing to do. So she just took a group of them and put them in a corner. Skip will remember this. Went in a little corner and started to do some little writing and encourage them to do a bit of poetry. Okay, right. So she was doing that. 3 people, 4 people. Next minute it grow. Next minute I said to her, so why don't we run some creative writing then? And yeah, so we started doing that in about 2018, right? Till it just continued till the creative writing at one point was practically bigger than the music courses, right? So we went to some other places and some other like a drop-in place and ran some courses from their project. They saw the success, and next minute they started to, before Georgia could even finish her 10-week project, they were developing their own one, and they were like running it. They were wanting to start it even when Georgia was still doing hers. So we had to say, well, can't you wait? Can't you wait? You know what? And then coming into her class and trying to split her class, trying to get some of her people from out the class to come and join up to this other class. And we're saying, but hold on, you know what I mean? What you doing? And she was really upset. She was so upset about it. And so basically her thing is called Words Unheard, right? They called their thing Words Unmuted. You know what I mean? All them things there. Basically plagiarized the girl's thing, you know what I mean? And she was really upset about it. And then you can see like now, all of a sudden now, everywhere you've got all of these creative writing groups and poetry groups and this and that and this and that. And you know what I mean? You're thinking, okay, and kind of just basically following her all of her concept and just using it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So but I sort of said to her at the time, I said, boy, Georgia, there's nothing you can really do. You understand? Because you didn't invent poetry, you didn't invent creative writing. Yeah, you started to make it popular and people saw it. You understand? But she didn't see it that way. And she was so vexed now that she's even like now the place where we used to do the creative writing, we were getting the place for free and everything. Now she's refusing. She's not going back there. She's not going back there. She ain't going to run no group from there again because she felt so upset and slighted by it. And I just thought, wow, okay, this is a white girl about 25, 26. I don't know if it's just so she's spitting her dummy out or, is a privilege or something, but she just weren't having it. She weren't having it. You understand? And it knocked off.
Put a lot of hard work into it, though.
Yeah. And at the time when this happened, Skip, right, Rose was helping her out as well. And Rose is another girl, another white girl, and she's interested in philosophy. So she's doing a philosophy group. And I said, well, where are you going to do it? And she goes, I'm not running it in that place. No, I'm not going in there. I'm not having nothing in there after what they done to Georgia. No, rare. And that's it. They just pulled out. And then she's basically having it She's having her course in the old Bratdown Studio Club in Bedford. Yeah, that's where she's having it. You know what I mean? Because she refuses to go back in there. So yeah, I can see it. It does happen. It does happen.
It happens a lot. Why
people
people are so bring their energy to that level where they're not even going to make it better for the community, even though they know it will enrich the community, they still don't want to help it happen. It just doesn't. I don't get that at all.
Yeah. And even when they noticed that, like, we weren't looking to do anything more, the owner of because it's like the recovery college in Bedford, that's where we were having it. The guy who runs a recovery college, Tony, said, "Oh, Mark, what's going on? Have you got more projects planned?" And I said, "No, I don't think we will be doing any more projects there."
College?
It's like a place where it's run by the mental health team, but it's open to everyone. You know, they have courses and workshops and all sorts of things in it. You know what I mean? Where anyone can join up and involve. So basically, any activity and courses we run, we just put it in their prospectus as well, and kind of worked in a kind of partnership. So they were saying, "Oh, have you got any plans? What?" And I'm saying, "No, I don't think we're going to be running any." And he's gobsmacked. Why? And I said, and I explained to him what happened, and so he tried to call a meeting with the guy who tried to plagiarize George's thing. And even when I was trying to explain to him, he still couldn't see it. He couldn't see it. And I'm saying, bruv, you know what I mean? I'm saying the girls run a 10-week course. And the worst thing about it, she ran it for nothing. She wasn't actually paid. She done it in her own time. And then you came into her class, tried to draw out 3-4 of her people who have been there for the last 9 weeks and trying to get them to come to something else, what you planned. You couldn't even wait. You couldn't even let her finish her 10-week course. And then 2 weeks later, you come launch your own. Right, I said, and then look at your name of your thing, innit? Your thing is called Words Unheard. You'll come in with words unmuted, or words muted, or something. What kind of thing? I said, you know? And he can't see. He couldn't see it as a problem. He couldn't see it as a problem. And I said, well, from you can't see it, there won't be no group running, innit? You know what I mean? I can't make her come and run her group there. She's not going to run her group there no more. She's standing her ground.
But they don't want to see it. They don't want to see it. They know what
she's standing her ground, and they're not doing it. And now there you go, the partnership mashup, because you lot are just
they didn't want to see it, Mark, because they knew what they were doing in it. So they don't want to see nothing else, isn't it?
Are we all agreeing that these people are worse than haters then? Because haters just hate you.
Yeah, haters will just chat about
they
behind
just
your
like
back.
to chat breeze behind your back. But these people are actively not doing anything to advance you, which I find more despicable.
Yeah, we have that. You know, there's another organization called Music 24, do similar work to us, but they kind of work like in with people with dementia, and they go on the wards and everything.
This is
all of a sudden now,
the lady runs it.
Yeah, all of a sudden now they're running music course. They're running music course Friday afternoons in Bedford. Music course, practically the same of what we're doing.
No way.
Yeah.
They're running, and I'm like, okay,
they got
funded
recently. They got funded recently, didn't
they? They get only for money. They get wholly for money. They get only for money, Victor. They get way more money, and they do their thing full time. We don't. You know, everyone in my organization works full time. We do this as a side thing. You understand? They do it as a full time thing, and they were quick to do that. You know what I mean? And why? You know what I mean? Why? You know what I mean? Why are you coming and try to do something exactly the same as what we're doing? But there you go. You can't, you know, we don't own music. We don't own music. We're not the first people to offer people music training and vocal training
or anything like that.
Instrumental tuition. We're not the first. But obviously we've done it in a certain style, what no one else has really done it before, and they see the style and see the thing, and you know what I mean. And that's why even one of the tutors, like Elvis, always says to me, Mark, don't put too much thing up on social media. Don't put too much things up in it, because people just come and steal your ideas. And I'm like, but how do we promote our organization then? If we don't use Facebook, if we don't use TikTok, if we don't use these things, how are people going to know what we're doing?
Damned if you don't.
And you have to prove it to the funders as well. So the funders turn around and give you 10 grand. You've got evidence that you've done it. You've got to show them. You've got to show them.
But
Look,
to
there's
get the
some
10 grand
pictures.
in the first place, you have to show you're doing something different from the other people
Yes,
in the
you've got
area.
to show them. You've got to show them in it. So we have to use the
just like
socials and stuff in it. You know what I mean? But I can understand where he's coming from, because he's saying, got people are just ready to quick and just can't come up with nothing original, can't come up with their own thing, and then they just want to come and just hijack your thing.
The thing with
And
me
it's even worse when it's such a big organization like them. Their organization's big, innit? They're getting six-figure funding regularly, Victor.
Yeah, they're bigger
Big
than they
funding.
were a couple of years ago. They're like
Yes,
twice as
man, they're
big as they
getting
were
only
a
for
couple of years
funding.
ago.
So can't they just can't you stick in your lane? Your lane is for, going in the care homes, going in the hospital,
That's right.
dementia.
That's right. That's exactly what they're doing.
You do all of that thing. Make us do our thing. We're more technical side of things. Learn to make beats. That kind of vibe.
You've got a different angle completely.
Different angle, but no, they don't want us. They don't want us. They want our angle. They want all of it.
But there's some people want the whole of the cake.
They want it all.
They don't even want They don't want just a slice. They want the whole of the cake.
No, they want it all. They want it all.
They want the whole of the cake.
The thing is, why I brought up this one is because in martial arts, I had the Warriors Workshop from 1999, right? And it was the biggest martial arts center in Europe at the time. And 9 martial arts were being taught there. People could come in and get private tuition and everything like that, courses, seminars, the works, brilliant place. Then the landlord saw I was doing too well, so he doubled the rent right after 3 years. And I was like, well, am I going to afford that if I can't go next door or go upstairs or anything like that? You're not going to let me have another room. So you get me have a room. But then he said that it's only a little slim thing that I could use like an extension onto the place. It wouldn't bring in enough people that could fill it to make its own money for the whole place. So I started doing dances in the place to like subsidize until I could get a whole section of the buildings that were connected to my building. And before that, we run into a lot of issues with the landlord and the council about corrections to be made to the building before they could give us a license, an alcohol license, and everything like that. After that's done now, years later, I've got other places. I've got a place, and they said, so what happened to the gym, man? That was awesome. That was brilliant. I goes, well, why didn't you tell someone else about it? Why didn't you tell someone, and I could have got that building and used that building and carried on? Why didn't you tell them? I was busy doing whatever, man. I got nothing to say to you. Then I've got a big building, 2016, 14 to 16. I've got a big building in town centre. And it was, again, an academy, 2 stories, 8,000 square feet. The other one before that was about 4,000, 6,000 square feet, mezzanine inside it. And then we had this bigger building, 8,000 square feet. Again, people come in there, wonderful academy, people learning music, education, stuff like that. They were seeing how, I was giving away books for free, giving away about 7,000 books while I was there in a couple of years. Free to people that were just coming in, and they thought it was a bookshop. They had to pay for the books. I said, no, you could take them and go, right? And that brought in people to come and look at the martial arts. They come and look at the Black history, come and look at the stock exchange, how to play chess, how to do Tai Chi, how to do free running. They saw everything there. They loved it. My daughter went there and learned how to speak Japanese, right? So we had loads of things going on in that place. The charity that got us the building, they fell short. They were corrupt. They did something that they're supposed to do about the tax laws. So they got caught out. So we had to leave the building. Right? Someone else taking it. I think it's the ice cream place now. But after that, people go, so what happened to the building, man? It was awesome. I was coming down here. I was about to come down. Why didn't you tell everyone? We could have got another building. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Got enough to say to you. Now we go for another building. Right, 2019, and we're about to get 250 grand for lottery to fund this 36,000 square foot building, and still people are not out there saying, wow, Victor's done that and he did this and now he's on this is an amazing guy, we should be backing him up. I had to do this nearly all by myself to get to this point. I had 22 members in the committee, and they were fine. They're awesome, right? To get it to this point where we can take over this building and deliver the CDMA, the Community Development for Martial Arts. You got your mic on, Mark, and you're cluttering. Mark, you crash banging a walloping, man. All right.
Can I just say one quick thing?
No, not yet. One
right.
second. Be patient, bro. And so when I went for all this stuff, all the time I've got these naysayers saying, not telling anyone what I'm up to. Children come in, I've got case studies. Who we've changed, who we stopped from doing knife crime, who we stopped from doing bad drugs and all this kind of stuff. We got them out of that background, that scene and everything, and got them into the Navy and got them into the job they've always wanted and all this kind of stuff. And we've really done some awesome things. And where do you see on Facebook that anyone, what I've done? Nothing, unless it comes from me or from someone in the committee. It never comes from the people that, you know, have used the building or have seen me do these things. It just amazes me. Carry on, Zach. What are you going to say? Remember, it sparks me off, so I'm vexed. So I've got to, like.
So no, it's going. No, for real though. Going back to what you guys were talking about earlier with you know, basically, it's like you can't really do right and you can't really do wrong when you're trying to use like social media or whatever, putting up your ideas or trying to promote. It's almost like you're saying you need to show evidence that you're putting the work in and you're doing certain things, but at the same time you feel like people that aren't giving credit or actually trying to help you and promote your thing when they know it's a positive thing, it's like it's as bad as a hater, if not worse. But I was gonna say it's like it feels like going through a minefield. That's how I describe it, you know, because if you don't put out ideas, your own ideas or whatnot, then no one's gonna know about it and it'll be non-existent. But if you, yeah, do you know what I mean? Like I feel like basically
You've got to keep going.
You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, regardless.
Exactly. It's what Mark was chatting about. We can't just let these people win. I mean, just because they're not talking about us don't mean we should shout up too.
It feels like no man's land, and you're on a trench, and you're about to send like 1,000 troops over the top with their bayonets ready to charge, and you don't know how many men are going to get through to the other side. If you're even going to make progress and capture the other trench, let alone like how many
the first rush, right?
Yeah, that's how it feels like in this modern day and age. You know, everything just gets broke up quickly, and sometimes we're too shook. That both sides are too shook to even make an advance, let alone risk it and do it. You know, and then sometimes it can be catastrophic. Like it's not even worth it because you can pay for it ultimately. But like you're right, you have to do something. That's all I had to say.
I've trained to run to things that scare me. It's not a problem. But what I'm saying is that
I think Mark was right. Sorry to jump in, but
carry on, man.
I think Mark was right. People are people in it. Mankind are mankind. You get me? And they're not necessarily like their namesake. You get me? It's like you don't expect a dog to meow and you don't expect a cat to bark. People will be people and just do what they do naturally, innit? You have to just keep doing your thing and don't watch people. You know what I mean? You just gotta go through, and that's just the reality of it, innit? Even your best friend will sell you out, Bridget. So you can't watch that. Even your family will sell you out because people
you
are
have
just
to be
people.
so careful and protect your thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like license
I will talk. 100%, man. 100%. I agree with that.
Let's try to be more proactive in our friends that we call friends future. You know what I mean? If you're going to call yourself a friend or family, then where's the hatred come from? Where's that coming from?
I feel like it's very like
Jealousy can't be.
You know, it's funny when you say that because some people have family and their family do not act like family.
I've
You
got
go on the
friends that are
street
better
and
than
you
some of
find
our
100%.
family. Yeah,
people on the
I
street
agree.
that would act more like your family with you
Big time.
than your actual original family. Do you understand? Because
You feel more comfortable with them.
True story.
no, yeah, got the same issues, think the same way. All right, you don't have to think the same way with all your family, but you will find sometimes that yeah, people out on road, you know what I mean, got your back a little bit more.
Okay, so why is it then? All right, let me keep the gripe going because I've got things I need to talk about it. Anytime I've been in, one of my brethren has started something, I've always tried to help them. I always try to promote them. Always try to pick up what they're doing, let them source it, let the people them around me source it. If I'm involved with it, they should know about it as well, especially if it's a good thing for us, so that we should all know about it, blah, blah, blah. Why don't everyone act like that? Have they just not heard of Black's philosophy, or they're just bad-minded, they're grown up wrong? Which one is it? What are you saying then?
You
Try
know
and
what?
protect them now. Try and protect them now. Go on.
That's a big question, Black, because what you will find in life, yeah, and this is another thing again, going back to the not expecting a dog to meow and a cat to bark. What you'll find in life is that not everybody is like you. The things that you would do for a friend, or the things that you would do to support an organization, other people wouldn't do it. Do you understand what I mean? You have to just know that who you are and what you're about and what you're going to do, because not everybody else is the same. They're not the same ilk. Do you get what I mean?
It's not
And
a problem.
that's just part of life.
See, as a martial artist, I teach, and when people are in the class waiting to be taught, I have to show them how to do it. And if there's something I can't show them how to do it, I bring them someone better than me to show them how to do it. You see what I'm saying? That never happens because I'm always a bit. Anyway, but I teach people to be better than me. Do you understand? So there's no point me holding back and not teaching
And so
them
you
to be
should.
better than me. Right.
If
So
you don't teach them to be better than you, then you're not a real teacher.
there you go. So now when it comes down to them teaching someone else what I taught them, they saw what effort I put in. They saw how I carried on when I was teaching people. They saw the patience, they saw the diligence, they saw the skills, and they just want to be like me. That's fine. That's cool. All right. And then teach someone, each one teach one, blah, 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 and it carries on. Right. So I'm only as good as my worst student. So I have to make sure that all my students are better than me. You see what I'm saying? And I make sure of that by saying to the last student, if anyone comes in and challenges the school, you'll be the one defending us. And they were like, well, I just got here. And I was like, yeah, you better hurry up and get good then. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like health.
They're
like
constantly looking at the door, trying to, teach me how to do this, teach me how to do that. And trying to teach others how to do it as well. So when they see someone coming after them, they sigh a relief. Like, whew. Now it's his problem. I'm going to make sure that he's ready, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I was scared. I'm going to make sure that he was ready. So again, the brother teaching the brother, and it goes on like that. That's the hierarchy of martial arts. So I tried to get that, and I'm about Wu Wei, which is doing nothing, and that comes from Taoism, Zach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wu Wei is walking the street and have people look at you and they're proud of what they see, and they're interested, they're impressed by what they see. So they find out about you and find out what you did, and then take it up for themselves and see if it works out for them. And when it does, they just carry on and do it. And then till they're good at it, and they teach it to other people. So I've improved the world and I've done nothing. I didn't force you to do it. You looked at me, you were impressed by my walk, and then you carried on doing it again. You saw a warrior and you wanted to be a warrior. You became a warrior. Now you're teaching other people to become warriors. So BLAPPS has now improved the world without knowing it, without doing anything. And I think everyone should start taking that kind of mission up themselves. You know what I mean? Improve the world without knowing it. So always try to be better today than you were yesterday. So other people look at you as impressive and they want to be like you. And then you improve the world without even knowing it. Cool.
Yeah,
does anyone want to talk about the NHS, the wars that Britain are on about, always getting themselves involved in all the time? It shouldn't be put to an end. Do they want to talk about the hip hop pioneers or the people that are coming up now that have got a lot of influence? Shouldn't they be teaching the ones coming up a better way, not just the gangster thing?
Yeah.
Or should they? And what sparks me off is people that don't help people that are doing good things in the community. They don't point it out to anyone else. They just keep it to themselves. Is it worse than being a hater? Anything you want to talk about?
Sorry, I'm gonna have to flash. Sorry, before you talk, I'm gonna have to flash here. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oh, cool.
I enjoyed the vibes.
All
Keep
right,
it going, Blaps.
Awesome. Every Wednesday, man.
All
Every
right.
Wednesday,
Okay. What time? 8 till.
Same place. If you've registered, which you should have had to register, then you'll be able to go straight in the next time.
All right. So it's 8 till.
Wednesday, 8.
Yeah, 8 o'clock till.
About 10. But every time we've done it so far, we've gone over.
Gone over. All right. Yeah.
I got
on BLAPPS YouTube, BLAPPS, the letter U, the number 2, BLAPPS YouTube. That's our channel.
Right, cool.
There's about 300 BLAPPS TARK shows on there.
All right. Well, blessings, people. Respect.
Yeah. Blessings, Spencer, man. God bless, brother.
So again,
I've got a boogie as well, brother.
All right, man. We'll call it that then.
Right.
That's excellent. Thanks for coming in, everyone. I'll see you
I'll
later.
come and have a look.
Yeah, take care, Mark, man.
You have all been BLAPPSed. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Joel on True.
You've all been BLAPPSed,
You've all been BLAPPSed. So I used to end it all the time, man. What are you doing? All right, man. Peace.
All right, take time. Later.
Peace.